Hey guys! So every year I usually always do a Empties video just because I am a student and every year I do move out of my dorm and I kind of just use up a lot of products throughout the year and I keep them and show it to you guys. Because I've used them all up, I feel like I know enough and have used them enough to kind of do a little review on each product. As you can see, I have quite a few things to show you guys. It is a year's worth of stuff. I've done this video yearly and this year is no exception, so I'll just head on to talking about some makeup products first. The first things I'd like to talk about is the Mercier Foundation Primer Hydrating. This actually I got from a beauty advent calendar for Christmas and I love this stuff. I used to have a huge bottle of it when I was younger, but back then I didn't feel like I needed it. This was maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I had my first bottle. I didn't really think much of it back then, but let me tell you, this stuff is amazing. Like, after I use this, I cannot not use a primer before I put on any makeup. So this kind of introduced me to the importance of having a primer before any of your foundation or base makeup. It's very hydrating. It's perfect for summer where you need the hydration, but it's not sticky at all. It's very light and it just gives a really nice canvas for your makeup to be on. It's just good for all weathers. If you live in drier weathers and you have dry skin, maybe this is not enough. I'm not sure. But I love this. I use this in the hot and humid weather back home in Hong Kong. I use this in kind of more dry weather in London, and I love this. So it is expensive, but if you're investing in a primer, I really recommend the Mercier Hydrating one. The other primer is this Shu Uemura POREraser. It is a UV Underbase CC Mousse. It has SPF 35 PA triple plus. It comes out like, you have to shake it and it comes out in a mousse form. I feel like this one I like for hot and humid weathers. It's not as nice for dry weather. I feel like it's not hydrating at all. It has a little brightening effect. The mousse part, I like that it's very light. It's a very different texture compared to the Mercier one. This is a little more sticky. It's a little thinner and it feels like there's a very, very, very thin film of like tackiness to it, but I actually do like it. It's not sticky or sweaty at all. It just kind of settles in. The only problem I have with it is that at first I didn't know how much mousse to put on my hands. So the mousse kind of just waters down after you rub it, but then sometimes I put too much on and sometimes I put too little on. It's a little of a hassle to like finally know how much you want and how much you need. But I do like it, and I think that if you have oily skin or you live in hot and humid weathers, this is a really nice product to kind of just prime your face and prep it for other makeup. I feel like in the summer, especially in hot and humid climates, I don't like having too many layers of makeup on, but this is thin enough that I don't feel anything on my face, but it still does a good job of priming it. The next ones are concealers. So this is the Maybelline Instant Rewind, Age Rewind, the famous Age Rewind one. I love this stuff. I think this is my first bottle, but I am going to repurchase. It is amazing for under eye concealing. I have horrible under eye circles. The coverage isn't like out of the world. It doesn't cover absolutely everything, but it lightens enough and it doesn't crease at all under the eyes, and I just really like this. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this and a lot of people like it, so definitely go check them out, and it's drugstore, so it's really good. The next one is the Laneige Watery Cushion Concealer. It's the same thing as the Maybelline one, but from Laneige. The only problem I have with this is that the tip of it If you compare the Maybelline one and the Laneige one, the Maybelline has a way bigger tip and the Laneige has a smaller one, and the Maybelline is more like spongy and soft compared to the Laneige. The only thing I have with the Laneige is that it applies okay, but the head is so stiff and it doesn't blend well as itself. Like, I definitely have to go in with my fingers or another sponge to blend this in. Whereas the Maybelline one, it's way easier to blend. Obviously you still have to like do some work after you apply this. You can't just rely on this sponge, but it feels like this one is less harsh and tucking on the under eyes. It's just that I feel like application wise I'd pick the Maybelline one. Formula wise, the Maybelline one is lighter than the Laneige. I feel like the Laneige is a very slightly thicker. The Laneige one has SPF 35 PA double plus. So if you care a lot about the kind of UV protection and the skincare qualities, then the Laneige one is really nice. It doesn't crease at all, and I do rely on it after I finish using up my Maybelline one. But if you want something lighter and easily accessible and a little bit cheaper, then I think the Maybelline is really good. The next makeup product are BB cushions. These are the only things that I wear every day. Usually don't leave the house without them. I don't use foundation on a daily basis, but this is what I put on my face every day. The first one is the Shu Uemura BLANC CHROMA Brightening UV Cushion Foundation. Shu Uemura has really good makeup. This is maybe one of the first things I've tried from them. The difference between them and any other BB cushion is the puff. This puff is kind of like velvety, it's super soft. The only problem I have with it is the application, because they tell you to swipe it on before you pat it on. The formula is thicker than a lot of BB cushions that I prefer and I use. It definitely has pretty high coverage. It has a really good brightening effect. If you're looking for that bright and more pale looking, you want your skin to look a little paler than your actual skin tone, then I'd go for this one. It is a little thicker, and I do feel something on my face when I have this on. It's not good for hot and humid climate. If you live in drier places, then this is okay. It's just that it's a little more sticky, it's a little more dewy than a lot of BB cushions that I prefer. But I like that their sponge and cushion has this like net meshing. I think a lot of BB cushions are coming up with this mesh netting that kind of helps pick up the products more evenly on the sponge. I do like it, but I don't think I'm going to repurchase it just because I have other cushions that I like more than this one. The other cushion is the Moonshot Microfit cushion. This has SPF 50 plus and PA triple plus. The sponge thing kind of broke. This is what I find for a lot of more drugstore and cheaper cushion foundations. This thing always breaks on me halfway through, but I mean I still use it. I really like the Microfit one. I always get compliments when I use this cushion. This is like the GD cushion that people talk about. The downside is just it's like the normal sponge thingy. The packaging is pretty simple. You can say that it's sleek, but sometimes because I feel like it's a black case, it's very easy to become dirty and look kind of tacky, but I do like it. It's not expensive at all. This one gives enough dewiness and brightens enough, but it doesn't feel like you have anything on. The coverage is medium. You can definitely build it up. I just love this stuff. This is the only product that I've tried from Moonshot, but I really like this one, so I definitely repurchase this cushion. It just goes on really smooth. It blends really well. I just I don't know, your skin just looks so good after this, and I don't like very high coverage, so this is perfect coverage for me. Alright, the final makeup products are 2 eyeliners. Why do I have 2 of everything? And they're always from like different companies, so it's a good thing because then I can compare and tell you guys what I think about them. The first one is the Clio Water Kill Pen Liner in Kill Black. I love Clio liquid liners, and I like the pen more than the brush liner, just because I feel like the pen is more like a Sharpie, so it's stiffer, it's easier to control. Sometimes I feel like the brush, even though it bends and it's a lot more precise and thinner, it's a lot harder if you're someone new to liquid eyeliner to kind of control. So I do really like the pen one, and I've actually repurchased this and have backups of this. The only problem is that the packaging comes off really easily. It rubs off and it looks kind of like crappy right now, but it is super waterproof. It stays on the whole day, and even if it kind of rubs off, it doesn't smudge off. It's not messy even if like it comes off. Love this stuff. I hope they never discontinue this stuff. The other one is the Real Lasting Liner One Day Tattoo. I've talked about this a million times. This is the Alice in Wonderland packaging. It's comparable to the Clio one. I actually like the Clio one more. Now that I've kind of used them and compared them for like over a year, I do like the Clio a little more, though the tattoo liner is easier to get, I think, around the world. They both last me for about 3 months. I used to think that the tattoo is very waterproof, but once I use the Clio, it's more waterproof. I don't know how that happened, but I do like both of them, and if you can get your hands on either of them, then do so. And I only wear liquid liner, so these are like my holy grail. I cannot live without them. Alright, now I'm gonna talk about skincare. Simple, kind to eyes Shu Uemura Purifier, the Laneige Multi-Berry Yogurt Peeling Gel, toner that I've used 4 bottles of, Ginseng Fusion Total Eye, Elsewhere Crystal Gel, Lumi White Moist Up Emulsion, 2 sleeping mask, color contact slate.